You know, we're constantly comparing things every single day. But have you ever really stopped to wonder why we say faster, but it sounds so weird to say expensiver? Well, today we're going to crack the code on comparative adjectives so you can get them right every single time. Let's just jump right in with an example. Is a plane faster than a train? The answer is pretty obvious, yeah? But let's look at the grammar. See how he took the word fast and just tacked on an ER to make the comparison? That little change is at the heart of what we're talking about. But hold on, it's not always quite that simple. Okay, now what about this one? Is gold more expensive than silver? Here, we didn't add ER. I mean, can you imagine saying expensiver? It just sounds wrong. Instead, we put the word more in front. And this little difference shows us that when it comes to comparing things in English, we've got a couple of different playbooks. So what do we call these things? Well, the official term is comparative adjectives, and they have one golden rule you have to remember. We only use them to compare two things. Not one, not three, not 100, always and only two. That's the most important piece of the puzzle. Now, there's a crucial little word you're going to need in almost every single one of these sentences. Than. Think of it like the bridge connecting the two things you're comparing. You'll hear it all the time. Faster than a train, more expensive than silver. It's the word that makes the comparison complete. All right, with that foundation in place, let's get into the nitty-gritty. And the very first question you should always ask yourself is this: how long is the adjective I'm trying to use? We're going to start with the most common, the most straightforward rule of all. This is the one you'll be using for those short, simple adjectives, the ones that are usually just one syllable. For short words like old, fast, and tall, the rule is super simple. You just add ER right onto the end. My brother is older than me. A plane is faster than a train. The building is taller than the tree. It's clean, it's simple, it works. Now, with this rule, there are a couple of tiny spelling traps you got to watch out for. First, if the word already ends in an E, like large, you don't need another E, just add an R. And second, if the word has that consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, like big, you have to double that last letter before you add the so you get big-igger. So, that takes care of the short words. But what happens when the adjectives get longer? I mean, trying to add to a word like beautiful just sounds like a mouthful, and it's totally wrong. For words with two or more syllables, we need a whole new game plan. Okay, for these longer words, the path actually splits in two. We have a special little case for words that end with the letter Y, and then a different rule for pretty much everything else. Let's break them down. First up, words that end in Y, like happy or busy. For these, we do something a little different. We drop that Y completely and replace it with I-ear. So happy becomes happier, and busy becomes busier. For example, she is happier than him, or Monday is busier than Sunday. Now, for all the other long words out there, think expensive, modern, or beautiful, the rule is actually even easier. You don't change the adjective at all. You just put the word more right in front of it. So it becomes more expensive, more modern, more beautiful. Easy, right? And here is just a quick, friendly reminder to avoid a really common mistake. You never mix these two rules. You would never say more big, and you would definitely never say beautifuler. Just keep the short word rules and the long word rules in their own separate boxes, and you'll sound perfectly natural. Of course, it just wouldn't be English without a few exceptions to the rules, would it? These are the rebels, the rule breakers of the grammar world. We call them irregular adjectives. Yeah, these words just play by their own rules. Good doesn't become gooder, it becomes better. Bad doesn't become badder, it turns into worse. And far becomes either further or farther. There's no real trick to these. You pretty much just have to memorize them. The good news is there are only a few common ones. All right, you've seen the rules, the spelling tricks, and the exceptions. Now, the absolute best way to make all of this stick is to actually put it into practice. So let's try a couple of quick ones together. Okay, first question. How would you complete this sentence? A Ferrari is blank, a Fiat, using the adjective fast. Think back to our rules. Is fast a short word or a long one? And the answer is faster than. Perfect. Fast is a short one-syllable word, so we just add ER and follow it with our connecting word, than. A Ferrari is faster than a Fiat. Great job if you got that one right.
Let's try one more. Calculus is blank arithmetic. The adjective this time is difficult. So how many syllables does that have? What was the rule we used for longer words?
That's right. Difficult is a long adjective, so we don't touch the word itself. We just put more right in front of it. Calculus is more difficult than arithmetic. See? You are definitely getting the hang of this. So today, we've absolutely nailed how to compare two things. You know the rules for short words, long words, and even those little rebels. But that kind of brings up a new question, doesn't it? What happens when you're not comparing just two things? What if you want to say something is the biggest, the fastest, or the most expensive of all? Well, that's a whole other story.